Imagine a greener world if you can. Hello, Huples Cat. It's the afternoon and it's now become very sunny. Blowing and snowing all morning, and I did the trails. That's the trail to the wood chopping things, make tinder, and that's the trail to the garbage. And the birds have been fed. So I'm going to go for a walk, you should come along. It's day 89 for me of walking an hour or more every day. Now generally this time of year it's actually very hard to walk on this stuff, and I'd be wearing snowshoes. Well, we lost most of the snow. There was only about 2 inches left and it was very, very icy. And then we got another flash freeze overnight, and today it's currently minus 14 centigrade, and that's where I have my new winter coat on. So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to spend a couple of hours and see what we shall see. As you can see, with about 5 inches of snow on the ground, I'm not even digging into it. It's really, really solid. Well, we were busy beavers the other day and we have opened this up a bit. Just got this to remove at some point in the future. And we are reclaiming as much of the wood as we can. Just a quick shout out to Andy in Pembrokeshire. That's what the wind does. It shreds trees. So there's a crash through. First one I've had. We actually go through, and beneath the foot is actually probably about 3 to 4 inches of ice. It's not easy to walk on this when it's frozen like this. It's always tempting to walk on the beaver ponds, but it's been unseasonably warm the last week and I don't trust them. I'm on my own, so again, if I go in I'm on my own, so you should got to take sensible precautions. Plus this is a pretty good workout, walking on the trail on a crust of snow above ice. It's kind of fun. It's giving me a good workout and I have plenty of water. So that's the big pond, and over there is the shed that I'm rebuilding. And this is just off Kitty's property onto the neighbour's property, and they're not here this year. Cross that pond, cross another little pond, and you're on their road that runs from the ATV trail pretty much all the way to the big road. Now the ground's pretty solid, but I don't want to go over dams on this sort of stuff, so I'm going to stick to my plan. I'm going to go cross country to Camp Alpha. That's the entry to the trail I made, and this is the trail I rediscovered. Okay, hope you stay hydrated. Let's go. This is Camp Bravo, second place I camped. Beautiful spot. So I have arrived at Camp Alpha, the first camp I ever slept in overnight on the property. Down there is a frozen beaver pond that goes quite a way that way, and then you go across a road, follow the road or go the other side, and you have a series of beaver ponds to get back to the big beaver pond. The big beaver pond is approximately in that direction. And I thought initially this was connected to it, and it definitely isn't. It's quite a way away from it. So in the spirit of adventure, I have a good south beacon, so I'm going to head north, see where we get. Now down there is the pond that connects. I know that exists, don't know what's on the other side of that. But you have to go carefully here. I can see my footprints easily enough to go back. So look at this. Straight down. If it was going fast, I could easily snap that ankle. Came back for the camera. It's about as far north as I've come on this property. Still got a very good indication of south. So that's where I'm going to go. Straight line that way. I think that's water covered by ice. It is. Pretty solid though. They don't walk on ice even little bits. You never know. It could drop down 6 feet for all I know. Okay, topographic check. I have a ridgeline this way. I'm pretty sure I know what that ridgeline is. And I have kind of a big ridge on this side, pretty much due north, and see if I can find an ATV trail. I'm pretty tired, quite a lot of work. However, I found out something very interesting. I have found the north trail to the ATV that I built a while ago. And I would have sworn that where I am right now is way over there from this line. But it isn't. You have to get out there and walk around. So I know where I'm going now, so I have a decision. ATV trail? I think so. I'm not going to go back. It's pretty brutal. A lot of climbing. As you can see, you've got to maintain trails or nature destroys them. Now you might not know it looking around here. There's obviously a trail and a big down tree, but what I'm standing on is a little bit of soil with a fairly big stream either side of it. Caution, not an easy crossing. I'm getting a workout from my day 89. That's another piece of the puzzle. Turns out that Camp Alpha is pretty much due south of the ATV trail. And the ATV trail at this point is really close to the road access to our place. So I'm going to go that way. The ice and the snow and the wind have erased most of the features. You can see topography and where I've come from. An AUF, an AUF, another unidentified fungi. One of the things I've noticed since I've returned back up here is the fact that I feel a lot better and I'm looking better. Quite a bit of weight on when we were in Newmarket for 3 weeks looking after Kitty's parents. So I did my hour or more day walk when I was there. I didn't really do too many longer walks than that. And I think you really need these 2 to 3 hour walks interspersed on a regular basis to actually achieve anything in terms of weight loss. Without a doubt, the quiet and the clean air up here is actually a real beneficial thing for me mentally. And I would argue physically I'm a lot better off up here. So it goes to show, living in a city, you don't really appreciate it. But think about how many times it's quiet. Like there's always a low rumble of traffic pretty much everywhere humans are these days. Except up here, because people aren't really driving around. Get the odd ski-doo, but not many. As you can see from the state of this ATV trail, it's not really that used. So you need to think about what's going on in the world. Don't get distracted by UAPs or UFOs or Biden or Trump. Distractions from being out in nature, being with somebody you love, reading a book you want to read, listening to music you want to listen to. We go through life distracting. And I'm only 58, but I can tell you, once you get above 40-ish, the world starts going faster and faster. And around about 58, it's taking off. Time's just spinning away from me, just spinning. And it's kind of sad because I won't be here for that much longer. And subjectively, I'm hardly going to be here for very much length of time at all. Those summers that lasted forever when I was a kid did, in fact, feel like they lasted forever. Whereas now, things just spin faster and faster. And I only have one life to lead, so I'm going to lead that life to my best of my ability and to be as happy as I can doing it. And also not to damage creatures and the planet around me unduly. Well, I better press on with my walk. The babbling brook under the ice and snow. And that's where it's coming out. It starts journey downhill to fill up a pond. I have to cross this. I'm going to jump. So I'm enjoying my 89th day of walking, an hour or more. I'm having fun. It's hard graft though. I'm having to drink plenty of water. I like to have reusable preps, stuff I can reuse and use over and over and over. For example, this new winter coat of mine, it's not a bad coat, and it'd be a great coat for various things in terms of prepping and disaster. But here and now, it's really nice on a day like this. Ice conditions up here on the lakes have been bad for a second year in a row. I like to go out on the big lakes here, and I wanted to actually camp out on some of the islands. Haven't been able to do that this year, and it looks by the weather forecast I'm not going to be able to. Sure, you can get out on parts of the lake, but it's not really that safe, and this is one of the things that's going on now. We're having hot weeks in January and February. Like it's -8 now centigrade for a high, but in a couple of days it's going to go up to +3 again. And that's unusual for us. We're supposed to stay below freezing until maybe mid-March or the end of March. With all the fossil fuel burning, the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and the methane and all the rest of it, and chopping trees down, yeah, we've heated the planet up. It's heating up quite quickly now. Well, this is my turnaround point. I'm going to go back and down the road and home. Have a nice cup of coffee and feed Wolfie, because he'll be getting hungry. Thanks for watching. Toodles. This has been a Tiny Terry production 2023.